Hi, welcome to Well Read, a program about a little bit of this and a little bit of that at your Ames Public Library. I'm Jerry Hyde, Youth Services Manager at the Ames Public Library, and today I would like to discuss and share with you some of the important things that we do in our community. Now, our mission is to connect you to the world of ideas. But in order for that to happen, there are certain needs that our children need to have, like being satisfied hunger-wise, or having a safe place to be, having people that love them, and having places to go in other place other than their home. And so that fits many, many different reasons why we have the programs that we have at our library, but it also gives us the incentive to work with other community members in our community. And today, that is one of the things that we're going to talk about, is our collaboration with United Way of Story County. And so I have our special guest today, Jean Cressy, President and CEO of United Way of Story County. And so welcome to Well Read. We always like to find out a little bit about why the people that are on our guests on our show are here, and how they came about being where they've landed in the job or the positions that they have. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Jean.
Well, I've been in the community for 29 years this April. I came to take a job at Youth and Shelter Services. I'm originally from Dubuque. After my tenure at Youth and Shelter Services, I worked for the Ames Community School District, helping to raise money there, and I was there for 14 years. And I've been in this position at United Way of Story County now for 5 years.
Oh, has it been that long?
It has been that long. It's hard to believe.
I remember when the announcement was made, and yeah.
Time flies, yes.
5 years.
Yeah.
Well, and you've done lots of different things during that time with United Way in Story County. And so tell us a little bit about United Way's mission.
Well, United Way's mission is a lot like the library. We want to connect people and partners, but we're focusing on what are our community needs, first and foremost, in the area of human services. Looking at what are those possible solutions to the problems that we've identified, and then really looking to the partners in the community. So I would call non-traditional and traditional partners, and setting up efforts to make sure that we're getting to the root causes of problems in our community. And that's what attracted me so much to United Way of Story County. Our overall vision is to improve the quality of life for all in Story County. And we rely on lots of people and lots of partners like the Ames Public Library to make sure that we're accomplishing our mission on a daily basis.
And just recently, the focus of United Way, I know you have different themes during the courses of the years that you focus on, and sometimes it's transportation. Well,
right.
A lot of times it's transportation.
Yes.
A lot of times it's hunger, and we have seen a kind of a gesture, well, more than a gesture. That's a grand step into
yes.
Helping with being ready for kindergarten and summer learning, and attendance at schools, school attendance. So lots of those types of things starting at a younger age than just the adults in our community. So why do you think we took those steps, or United Way took those steps?
United Way is a member of United Way Worldwide, and a number of years ago, United Way Worldwide looked at the work that we're doing and really thought hard and strategically about how we talk about our work. And our work really is about education, income, and health. We are advocates in the community for those without a voice. We look to volunteers to help in those areas. And of course, giving is the other arm of what we need to do. But United Way of Story County adopted fully education, income, and health right before our 2013 campaign. And the reason why we did that is because it makes it easier to talk about our work, but in 2012, we were part of a conversation in the community about education and literacy, and what would our community look like if it was a city of readers. And I know that the library was at the table at that conversation too. And the more we studied and researched about early education and early literacy, and we realized that that's going to just help us in the areas of income and health down the road. we as a community then put together what was called a Community Solutions Action Plan and joined the national campaign for grade level reading. So we were one of 123 communities that was part of that effort. It was a very interesting exercise because we did focus on what are we doing in our community around school readiness, so the early literacy piece. What are we doing around school attendance, because we know that if a child's not in school, they're not probably going to catch up and learn as well as if they're there every day for that instruction. And the other was out of school learning, or what we've adopted fully is summer learning. And those three things are so important to grade level reading. And as you know, our state of Iowa is looking at if children aren't reading by the time they leave third grade, that school districts in our communities need to be able to provide remediation or intervention in the summer. And so it's really a perfect time for us to be involved in it. But there's other reasons too. And I think that one of my passions is I know that hunger is an issue in our community. And so I understand that if I'm hungry, I'm not doing my best. But
Back to that hierarchy of needs, that you have to be, like you're not doing your best when you're hungry, and neither are students that are coming from home that haven't had breakfast. And during the school year, there are programs for that, the school lunch program.
Yes.
That they get that lunch, some food.
Right.
But that isn't always enough. And then summer comes and there's not that at all for them.
Right.
So, which kind of brings us to our collaboration of our wonderful groups that we've brought together to help with the summer learning loss and to help with summer learning and the Hunger Coalition.
We do have a hunger collaboration that started in 2011 and really looking at what are the underlying causes of hunger. We also looked at the fact that many of the children that are coming from families with lesser financial resources are on what's called the free and reduced lunch program during the summer. During the school year. And we know that in Story County, the only summer food service program, so that's one that's through the Iowa Department of Education and U.S. Department of Agriculture, we only had one in our community, in our whole Story County. And it was very well received. It's at the Boys and Girls Club. And during the summer months, they serve a meal to anywhere between 100 and 120 children. But that was the only one we had. And our free and reduced lunch rate, which is a way to measure poverty in our county, is about 25% average countywide. So we're talking 1 out of 4 children not having all of the resources their family needs in order to feed them. So we knew that was important.
And the Boys and Girls Club is just in one section of town, and we also know that transportation, even though we have our bus service, or it still is an issue. So kind of sprinkling them through the community is an important part as
Absolutely.
well. But you had some experience, because now United Way is countywide.
Countywide, right.
So your first experience was over in Nevada, right?
Right. The Hunger Collaboration really identified, Nevada as an area that really we could work with. And so in the summer of 2013, we worked with lots of community partners, like I said, the traditional and the non-traditional, and we worked with the Nevada Public Library as well. And our first, we decided to just kind of get ourselves a little bit into the program. So we actually had 16 days of summer food program, and it was at St. Patrick's Church. And during that summer total, we served 176 different children. We partnered with HERDA, which is the Heart of Iowa Regional Transit Authority, to help us with transportation, because Nevada School District is very wide and not all of the kids can walk. And so we were able to bring some of the kids to the program that way. We also knew through our education with the Iowa Department of Education and the Summer Food Service folks that the most successful summer feeding sites are those that have programs. So we just did a little bit of enrichment activities. It was just looking at the community to see who had expertise in certain areas. And so in our limited space, which was a great space, but in our limited space, we had to use the parking lot for outdoor things. We didn't have a playground. And we relied on volunteers.
And definitely that is how a lot of the hunger programs are manned. It's not by paid staff members,
Right.
but generous volunteers, and maybe there's some grant money and help in some ways, but not nearly the amount that the volunteers in the community who want to better the community.
Absolutely.
So volunteers are wonderful.
And you know that.
We
You
love
know that.
volunteers. So then we took the successes and the knowledge that you learned from Nevada, and last summer combined with the library's absence of a building with meeting rooms and that type of thing, but also a emphasis on school learning, summer learning. We focused on Ames as well, and we started a great collaboration with our school district
Absolutely, yes.
at the Ames Middle School. And those enrichment activities that you talked about, then we partnered kind of in the day of summer school with the identified needs of some children that were going to summer school, and then we added on to their day with some non-school related but kind of in the back door
In the back door.
way of
We made learning.
helping.
We made learning even more fun than it is at school.
Right. There we go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a nice way to put it. So, and so we learned that there was definitely a need there. But again, that was kind of in a location that you had to go there in that area. The bus, the kids were already there, kind of like with the Boys and Girls Club. So we're kind of evolving. Now we're here into the third summer, and you have more partners.
We have more partners.
And a growing additional family of
Right.
places that we can have, and that happens to be here at our Ames Public Library. Not that we're necessarily feeding them here, but we are, and pardon the pun, we're sandwiching the activities between, for families in the morning, and then the school age programs in the afternoon. But we have a special partner in the middle.
Right, right.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we do have a lot of partners, and at some point I want to talk about all the partners. But this summer especially, we have a partner with our summer food service program. So for part of that program, you have to have a sponsoring organization that works directly with the Department of Education to make sure all the paperwork is completed. Because for every meal that is served, if you're in a certain kind of a program, you're reimbursed a certain rate for those meals. And Youth and Shelter Services is our partner. So they're the sponsor, and Jerry Bug in particular has a real passion to feed children as well. And it was her idea, really, to look at another meal site. And of course, you, Jerry, had told us, can we do something here, closer to the library? And so we're partnering next door with the First United Methodist Church. And this is when we're getting to all the non-traditional partners. We're also partnering with Mary Greeley Medical Center, who is going to vend the food. So they're actually going to prepare the food on site and then bring it to the church, or we'll have somebody bring it to the church. So we are going to be able to feed the children in between your two programs. So that's exciting for us, because we know with the Nevada program growing and having the enrichment efforts, and the Ames program growing and having the enrichment program, that at this point in time we're not able to set up a whole nother enrichment program. And the reason is, why should we,
Right.
when you've got a perfect enrichment program right here at this beautiful new space?
Why reinvent the wheel?
We don't need to do that.
And that's why we all have partners. So, and that's just to kind of let our public or our viewers know what's going on. So on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, the food will be available next door.
Right.
And so then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings at 10:30, we'll have a family program of such that, will be kind of stations. And our theme this summer is Every Hero Has a Story. And I can't help but think, but all these wonderful partners are all heroes of our community. So we could just go on and on about the heroes and all the stories we have to tell. And we will have those family programs in the morning, and then Monday afternoons after the program, about 12:45, or after the feeding of,
feeding, right.
or sharing the
Till
lunch.
12:30, yes,
Till
yeah.
12:30, we'll can come back here at 12:45 for another hour program for our K through 5th graders. On Wednesday afternoons, it'll be our teens,
Okay.
so 6th grade through 12th grade, as we defined our teens here at Ames Public Library. And then on Friday afternoons, we'll have movie afternoons that start at 1 o'clock. And so it won't be really wonderful snacks, but we'll have popcorn here and movies with superheroes in them. So lots of different wonderful activities to do. But on top of all of that, we also on Tuesdays will partner with our programs that we have out at the middle school, like we did last year. So Tuesday morning we'll have it here at the library, but then Tuesday afternoon at 12:30 we'll feature paid presenters that will show their heroic activities that they can share with all the kids at the summer camp, Little Cyclone Camp, and then also here at the library in the morning. So lots of different activities, but in addition to that, those are experience type of activities.
Right.
We also have the reading program that they'll be able to do different activities as well, like eat lunch together.
Right. So both programs, Innovata and Ames, will offer breakfast, and both programs are using the theme Every Hero Has a Story. So we're very excited about that because it shows some consistency in our county, and both programs will have lunch. And that's ideal. And we're excited that the Ames Community School District is allowing us to use once again the auditorium for the Ames Public Library program on Tuesday afternoons. It gives, and this summer we have about 130 children at the Ames program signed up. So it's going to give those 130 children an opportunity to participate in a presentation in an auditorium and fun, and you've got great programs. They loved it last year.
And I was gonna, when I observed and watched the paid presenters go, I mean the storytellers especially, we don't usually have storytellers come into our school system. We're all storytellers, but the professional ones that are out on the circuit, and so that's what we're opening up with is Pippa White, who is nationally known storyteller. And it was last year we had Maureen Corday, who is also a nationally known storyteller, and it was very interesting for me to watch the kids react to her telling the story. And and of course it's all anecdotally and my interpretation of their facial expressions, but you could see that they were taking it in and really growing. You could just see them grow with it. And it just made me feel so good inside that we were all helping our community to be a better community with adding these enrichment activities for the kids that they may not have ever had another experience with. So.
And another component of the program through the Ames Reads effort and through Raising Readers of Story County is the Reading Buddies. And they will, once again, this will be, I think, their third year.
I believe so.
Doing tutoring in the summer for kids. And they'll have that all ready to go. And they'll have at least 5 sites, maybe more. I think that they're looking at the library as one of those sites.
Yes.
And Bethesda and well, I won't say all of them because I can't remember, but so it's a great opportunity. But the neat thing about that program is that they're going to carry it a little bit further into the summer than our enrichment program will be. As you know, schools are not allowed to start before August 23rd, and so that stretches that summer learning loss even greater for some of those kids who don't have all those opportunities. And our ultimate goal is not only just to feed the kids, but to make sure that they maintain or gain during the summer and that they don't lose. And if we can get them involved in library programs, if we can get them involved in enrichment programs, if we can just get them reading a book in the summer every day for 20 minutes. We can't say how important that is. It is very important. But there are so many opportunities in Ames and in Story County for children, and we want to make sure that we do help the library in their mission of connection and making sure that happens.
I'd like to visit a little bit about that book too, because that's, we have a library full of books here, and that's a very important in every community, but it's also important for a child or for an adult to have that book available at any time that they own and that they cherish and they take care of. And it may surprise our viewers that not everybody has books in their home.
Right.
It makes me very sad when I hear stories of, they didn't have any books, or this is my first book, a
Yes.
book that they've earned by reading or by being tutored, that they have taken home and they cherish, and that's their very first book that they've ever owned. And our Reach Out and Read program, for our healthy baby or child visits, provide many books along the way too. But that, that unless you're born here, you don't get that type of thing.
Right.
So hearing that, so our Ames Friends Foundation donates books for our summer reading as well. And both our reading program, they earn that book by reading or doing these activities that we ask of them. But the Reading Buddies and the enrichment program at the Little Cyclone Camp also get an additional book.
Right.
So they can do the reading program, and because they are being read to and or are reading at the summer school, earn their an additional book as a group activity.
Yeah,
so
right.
hopefully many of these children will be able to choose their own book that's important to them. That it also needs to be age appropriate to some degree too, but even if it's just a book, it's about somebody or something that they know about and they can just look at the pictures. Studies and research show that that's as important, that self-selection is as important as being age appropriate. So lots of really wonderful things are happening.
Well, you made me think of a story for the Nevada program. The very first is their library was undergoing some renovations too, so they had all the library books that were donated for their library time, and boxes and boxes and boxes, and the volunteers spent many hours leveling the books to make sure that they were in certain stacks of age appropriateness, and had them all laid out on a table. And the kids were allowed to take one home or take two home or take three. We didn't limit it. And after all this hard work of leveling the books, the kids came in like ants and just went through those books. They were so hungry for literature that it was just like an upheaval afterwards. And so we learned that we didn't necessarily need to level them. They did that on their own, so that self-selection is important.
And they know what they need. They just need to have it offered to them. So, well, I know that both of us are passionate enough that we could talk and talk and talk, but our time is coming to a close, and I just want to thank you for the work that you do and bringing all of our collaborative partners together, because and the volunteers. The volunteers, we thank them.
Can we recruit volunteers?
And we can recruit volunteers.
We need volunteers.
Because Volunteers Center of Story County is also a very important partner in our.
You can volunteer for any day in the summer on their website. It's I wrote it down, vcstory.org.
And that has all the programs that we need volunteers for, and it's just an easy click here and sign your name, and you will be part of our volunteers. So thank you, Jean, very much for coming in and sharing your passion as ours, and we do as a community need to work together. It does truly take a village to help our community be the best community that there is. And one of those ways is getting our little ones from our school age ones successfully succeeding in school. And so it's a work with all the collaborative partners. So if you need to volunteer or want to volunteer, we have a place for you. So please come and look at the websites and come be a part of our success in our community and connect you and our community to the world of ideas. Until next time, happy reading.